Hi, this is Mason.
We have sort of a problem here.
And you're watching the 315 with Brian Higgins Presents.
You apparently didn't put one of the new cover sheets on your TPS reports.
Transfer Portal Syracuse.
You see, we're putting the cover sheets on all TPS reports now before they go out.
With Brian Higgins and Jordan Capozzi.
Did you see the memo about this?
Capozzi.
If you could just go ahead and make sure you do that from now on, that would be great.
Capozzi.
And I'll go ahead and make sure you get another copy of that memo.
Capozzi.
We need to talk about your TPS reports.
With this week's TPS Report.
If you could go ahead and try to remember to do that from now on, that'd be great.
Here's Brian and Jordan.
All right.
Oh, cheers to y'all. Here's the little nog for everybody. We refreshed our nog here. I'm still drinking it out of an unnecessarily fancy glass, which is literally only for the purpose of the show. But I think it's really working. Brian, Jordan's got the nog. We will have an eggnog review, basketball player comparison later on in the show. We have a lot of actual basketball stuff to talk about. But what's up, man? Still the Twitterless, Jordan Capozzi. I just tried to tag you in something. Your saga continues.
I'm on appeal number 2.
Oh, you got denied and you're back in?
I don't know, but so I filed an appeal. The first time I tried to file it, okay, and then I tried again maybe 5 days later, and it's like, hold your horses, buddy. Like, you got to wait for the first one. I waited about 2 weeks, and it let me file this one. So I'm assuming they've concluded, and I'm just going to keep firing appeals at them until something happens.
Jordan is going to keep hitting that button until he is face to face with Elon and is going to get this thing settled. But what's up, everybody in the chat? As you know, link is pinned top of the chat. We'll take your video calls throughout the show. This went live last night, so if you weren't with us on postgame last night, I mean, 1, where the hell were you? 2, welcome back. Slam that subscribe button, if you would. You see now, next to like the chat, there's like a little dollar sign. Yeah, that's what you think it is. You can just give us money. Not required. And if you send money our way, I'll probably even share it with Jordan. Like, I'll probably be like, yeah, here's some money. We can even give Jordan some money. You guys were exceedingly generous last night, I think. You guys were very generous. I have to figure out on Google and YouTube like where it went. I have to track it down, but that's a problem for another day. But we've hit the 5. We've hit the 5
endorsement.
Yeah,
that's a great way to get people to give you money. I think I'll be able to get it.
Hey, you were all generous. Your generosity is it doesn't change your generosity here in this holiday season. I think I'll find the money at some point. It's somewhere. It must be somewhere, right? I don't know. We have to figure out the system. It's very easy to get in touch with technical support people at YouTube. But I'd say usually we start here with what do we want to start with? I don't know about you, Jordan. I don't know about any place to start but the last thing you would have been at, and that was in that Red Autry press conference last night, which was like the game was uninspiring. Obviously, the Hofstra loss was a mess. That press conference was like my head's still spinning. I don't know what the heck we watched. That you were in the room. What was going on in there?
Yeah, so I'm going to start with some context, which didn't help the reception. I'll start with a lot of context. First off, it's a Wednesday game against Mercyhurst. So you have the usuals. You have Syracuse.com, they're 3.
Yep.
You have your News Channel 9 rep, Mario. You have
Mario was definitely involved in that press conference. Mario featured heavily.
If you just heard a struggle and a fall, that was my cat.
Okay. Better than the nog.
Okay.
Cats will be fine. You
have the Spectrum guy who just films and doesn't ask questions.
All right.
And you have a bunch of student reporters. So that's your cast. There was probably somebody from other news outlets on the end. I don't remember. So point being, it's not like the experienced students necessarily. It's not like a ton of everybody's not flooding to be there. So it's kind of intimate.
Right. And it was a minute of a wait. You guys were hanging out there for that's as long as I can remember waiting for Red to come out for a presser in 2.5 years.
About 35 minutes. They have a half an hour clock in the dome for when generally students film their little stand-up packages.
Okay.
And after 30 minutes, the horn goes off, and that means get off the court. I learned that last night because it was the first time I ever heard it because Red wasn't talking. So we're all in there getting pretty antsy. And then he comes in there, and you described it perfectly, Brian. Like, I always tweet out a little quote from his opening statement, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, where is he going?
Yeah.
Like, I get we have the ingredients, but I don't get the point of coming in there and being like, we want to win a national championship, and our goals are different than everyone's narratives. Like, no, we know you want to win championships.
Yeah,
We
like,
get that.
no, that's why the narratives are what they are, because we're all aware of the goal. Like, the goal, we know the goal. We're good on the goal.
I don't know where he was going.
No, and I'm not quite sure he got there.
No. And then the big one, and I knew Mario's question ahead of time because we were joking. We're like, oh, what are we going to ask? So I knew his question.
I mean, you had 40 minutes to craft it, so.
And when he said there's nothing wrong with our offense, I was just like, go on.
Yeah, like, okay. What?
And it was all really, after that, there was nowhere else to go. Like, yeah, there were some other questions. Donna eventually got to ask about Donnie, which even that was weird because he's like, look, I'm not a doctor. He'll be back. I know I sound like a broken record, but I just don't know. And it's like, well, if you don't know, then how do you know he'll be back?
It's like, I know, but I'd love to know, because obviously Red knows more than he's saying, which we all get. I'd love to know, like, is it a situation where, like, he knows and it's just weird or whatever, and he's just actively not telling us? Or what he knows is the doctors are like, we don't know what's happening with him. Like, and we don't know which one it is. And I'd say, like, Red stepped in it himself plenty last night. I feel bad for him answering the Donnie questions because, like, there's no good way out of the room for him on those. Where did Jordan go? Jordan just muted. You're muted. What happened? Did I mute you? Did you mute you? Yeah.
Oops. People were asking players about Donnie in the locker room after. So
yeah,
people are like just desperate. But yeah, man, it was weird. Like I saw it from a few people, and I think it's fair. Like, he tried to go out there and do like the Boeheim on the offense thing. But the thing is with Jim Boeheim, it's like, well, he's being quite the jerk right now, but he knows what he's talking about. I'm not going to argue. I still think there are a lot of people who don't think Red knows what he's talking about, so it doesn't hit the same. And it was just very awkward. I don't think it accomplished what he wanted it to.
It's the first time I've ever heard, like, because we've all had the same conversations, me and you, me and whomever, you and whomever, chat, social media, wherever. Like, we have all been baffled by this offense for multiple years, but this year especially, and looking at it, setting the free throw shooting aside, and I know that came up with, was that Rick he was talking to in the front row? What the heck did he call Brent last night? It sounded like he said Rick. It was, that one also threw me for a loop, and I think threw Brent for a loop in a while. I was like, what? How did I get reeled into this? What am I doing? Yeah, free throws matter. You got it, coach. And then Mario's just like, but the offense. I don't understand, like, because maybe we're all wrong, but if we are all wrong, I'd love to know how we're wrong. If you're telling me that it's not the offense, but literally every other observer of Syracuse basketball is like, something's funky with this offense, I would love to hear the basketball explanation about it. And unfortunately, that's just not what Red gives. Like, Boeheim would do it so bluntly, like, yeah, you guys are idiots, but here's the basketball thing. And you're like, okay. Like, you just, you're right or you're wrong. You just accept it. With Red, we never get the basketball answer, so say we're wrong, and I don't think we are, but say we're wrong, I'd love to know how, and I have no idea how.
I think I get what he's trying to say. Like, I might be getting the number wrong, but in the first 4 games, weren't they giving up, like, 50 or so points?
Yeah.
Like, they gave Mercyhurst 62, so the argument could be made that maybe it's not the offense in the sense that they should be holding teams in the 60s.
Which would happen. I mean, but the defense has been fine. Like, yeah, they're giving up more points, but the competition, like, it's also included all their hardest games of the year. They were playing scrubs. Like, they gave up 62 last night. All right, do you want it to be 50? Sure, but, like, 62 is fine. Can somebody cut? Like, nobody's moving. Like, somebody needs to move without the basketball just once, and we'll be happy.
Look, the offense is not good, but let me tell you, I don't think they did anything well against Mercyhurst. Like, I think you can argue, and I feel pretty comfortable saying it. I think they looked worse in that win against Mercyhurst than they did in the loss to Hofstra. Like,
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, if they didn't double them in rebounds, which is an anomaly in itself, they might never win a rebound battle for the rest of the season. Doubling them, I mean, geez, at one point, William Kyle and Sadiq White were out rebounding the entire Mercyhurst team. But like, it was just so sloppy with the ball and nobody was closing out. And they were just giving absolutely uncontested, like 8 to 12 foot little push shots. They were getting beat by backdoor cuts. I think they just looked really bad all around. And because they were playing one of the smallest teams in the country, they might be the smallest.
They're not big.
They got away with it. But I think everything looked terrible, Brian. And the worst part is it was boring. Like, being there, like, it was boring.
It was empty.
Like,
there was nobody there.
No running, no energy, no anything. It was just, you expected them to come out and play with some fire. And it was, I genuinely think they looked worse than they did losing to Hofstra. Like, no hyperbole there.
It's one of those things where, all right, you know, in a vacuum, like if you play a game like that against a Mercyhurst and, you know, you're overlooking them or whatever, it's like, whatever. You just would have thought, right, after Hofstra, like, shouldn't they come out with hair on fire, whatever your metaphor is? Like, shouldn't you have wanted to come out and just drive them out of the building 10 minutes into the game and just be like, all right, we got that done. Like, JJ came out, he had 13 points in, like, however fast. And Devo on the TV broadcast is like, yeah, just keep going every time. And he basically didn't score again the rest of the game. I'm like, why don't you have 30? Like, they literally can't guard you. Go to the rack, dunk on their heads, and be done with it. Like, this isn't the time to play around. Just go out and, you know, assert yourselves. And they refused. It's bizarre. It's a bizarre watch.
They also can't make layups. I know the layup stat is incredibly subjective, so you can do the eye test if you want, but they started out 0 for 4 on layups. William Kyle's the only guy who can hit a layup, but they get inside, they can't convert. They get to the line, they can't convert. They shot sub 25% from 3. They're not converting there. So I think it's the scheme, but also maybe they're just not very good offensively unless they're running and dunking, which they can't seem to do. Even against Mercyhurst, I wasn't impressed, really. They had some good moments with the press, but, you know, I didn't think they blew them out of the water with the pressure or anything, personally.
No, it wasn't like shock and awe in any case. And yes, Ryan, I'm being classy. I've put my nog in a snifter. Why? There's no good reason, but it looks fancy. That's the only reason. So yes, Ryan, your eye. Ooh, I banged it into the microphone. But yes, your eyes do not deceive you. See, didn't that look classy? Yeah, it's fantastic. It's the Burn Dairy. It's the Burn Dairy, just OG regular nog. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. I don't know. This team is they've played to the level of their competition pretty much all season long, and that was good for large chunks of Baylor, for a decent amount of Kansas, certainly for the Tennessee game. I mean, and then like since then, it's just like, well, okay, guys, like the game is happening now. Like, all right, the St. Joe's game is like, well, it was 9 o'clock. I'm like, okay, we've had a 9 o'clock, a 4 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon, now a 7 o'clock on a Wednesday. I don't think time of day is affecting this. So it's just like, can we get something? And now you only got 2 games left to get it going. Clemson's going to be here in 13 days. And are they as good as they were the last few years? No, but they're still pretty good. That's a real game. And if you're going to, like, I don't want to say you can't afford to lose that game, because, again, that's just overstating. But if you want to have a season, like in the league, you can go out and win that game and get going. Like, that's a really important game coming up. Another thing I kept hearing, I mean, you hear it from Red, but talking about it in the locker room is level 5. Yes, along those lines. But Red was basically saying he's trying to gas those guys out. And Kyan, which I found interesting, Kyan is too candid. Somebody's got to reel him in. He
gives out too much of the good stuff. He said they even struggle with it in practice sometimes. Look, I mean, I think we saw it in the tournament with the second half against Iowa State. The ACC is going to get tough, and at the end of the day, this team's going to have to win in tournaments, right? Is a style of play where you are completely draining the energy from your players repeatedly, rinse and repeat, is it sustainable throughout a full season with this roster? Some people can pull it off, right? But I'm just starting to think the way they play, it's not going to work. Maybe it'll work with other players, but I just don't think it's going to work.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously you're missing. It's still it all circles back to Donnie not being there too, because you're saying, oh, everybody go full out, but then you don't have your full complement of people that you're going to do it with. That's hard to do. It's like, yeah, just when you don't have the main guy to sub in and out, like, oh, is Sadiq supposed to gas it the whole game, but then he doesn't have a sub? Like, it's strange. And I get it, and I understand Red's frustration with that. I do, because clearly that's very important to him and his coaching philosophy. It cannot be the only thing important. How's that the only thing important? That's not the only way, and the only way you win basketball games. And it's even if you're doing it, it doesn't win the game by itself. You still have to, while giving maximum effort, play basketball. And we never hear about the basketball, and I just find it. I find that peculiar. We've barely heard about the basketball in 3 years now. It's very weird. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to say I'm at the point where the Mercyhurst game is kind of where, I mean, I've been up and down all season, but watching that, as little confidence as I've had. And yeah, watching Red come out after that, I get he's got to defend his guys. I get he's sick of hearing how there's no offense, but I also just don't know if going out and scoring 74 against that team is the game you want to come out and be like, our offense is fine. And also he mentioned 80 points a game, right? If you're trying to gas out and run up and down the floor and this and that, are you really aiming for 80?
Yeah, that should be more than that, right? Because if you're trying to play a game at that tempo, by the nature of it, it's going to be higher scoring for everybody because you're trying to create more possessions and really play fast pace, which if that's what was happening, I'm like, I'd get it, but it's not what's happening. So the whole thing's strange. Somebody asked me on Twitter last night, like, can you say 3 good things that happened last night? I'm like, all right, let's, the game started on time. We like timeliness. That's good. 2, Syracuse did have more points than the other team. We like that. 3, William Kyle. Yeah, so there's my 3. That's my 3 from last night. I feel good about that. It's very positive. It's uplifting, and William Kyle's awesome.
They're good things, man. Like, I mean, JJ started out hot again. I love the idea of you start the game, you let JJ kind of run things, and then everybody else works their way in. He's experienced. He can create his own shot. I like that as a trend. I don't love that he scores and then gets subbed out. I don't like that he's maybe been the most consistent three-point shooter on the team this year, which is terrifying.
Did not see that coming.
I like JJ starting out the game and setting the tone. I like Sadiq being aggressive on the glass. Only 2 rebounds in the entire second half I don't love. I like that for the most part, they did shoot 17 threes, but you could see, like Tyler Betsy especially, some of the guys were listening to Red, following the game plan, getting inside, not hucking up threes. There were things to like, just not enough. And I liked seeing Nate George make some shots, but what did he have? 4 turnovers?
6.
I think he had more, but
6.
How many?
6.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I like I said, Brian, by the second half, I'm not going to lie, I was a little bored. He should have had more. Like there was at least one play where he threw it and it like went off William Kyle and they didn't credit him, at least not at the time, with a turnover. The one thing he was really supposed to be was a guy who runs the offense. And yeah, it's cool he made, step back shot and he got fouled on another. And we've seen he has the vision. He's thrown oops. He's great at finding JJ in the corner, which has helped JJ with his shooting. So that adds a level. But like you can't turn the ball over more than, 3 times a game if you're him, if you want to have a fluid offense.
Yeah, I just remember because – again, I thought Devo was excellent last night on the TV broadcast because, Eric, he's a very significant supporter of the program, But
his quotes were making me laugh.
he's getting so frustrated with it. Like he's like, why aren't they going to the basket? And then he's like, they need to just get in there and like run their offense. They need to go out there and like run it smoothly. And that's like literally he finished his sentence. And the next thing that happened, it was a millisecond later, was Nate George dribbled the ball off his foot. It's like what do you do? Like, stop dribble. Like, why is the whole team dribbling the ball off their feet? It's just weird. Like, I know they're all better basketball players than dribbling the ball on their foot. Like, it's weird how much, like, lack of attention to detail of the simple stuff there's been. It's understanding why I think the fan base is so frustrated with it, that when you look at the big picture stuff, right, which is, is Red going to have this job next year? Which is that dependent on tournament? What is that dependent on? Meaningful games in March? What does it all mean? That not that fans make that decision, but there is so much angst and animosity right now. I don't think Ty's going to the runner. Like, I think it's going to have to be really definitive for Red to save this, because there's so much negativity that it's. I mean, look at the seats are empty. People are pissed. It's hard to overcome that. It's really hard to overcome that.
Do you think Donnie coming back, like, how many of their issues does it actually fix? I mean, when they're not hitting shots, they'll have a different avenue to get some easy buckets. I mean, he would have been huge against that zone. And they were finding some success in the first half going to Sadiq in the high post. I would have loved to see them do that more. Mm-hmm. I don't know why they stopped. I know you can't.
I don't think Red knows why they stopped either, to read between the lines of Saturday's press conference, which is, and that's the difference between Red and Boeheim. We're all assuming what he was saying is Sadiq stopped going to the high post, right? That's what we're all assuming, or whomever was supposed to be there. And once again, unfair to Red. Jim Boeheim would have walked down there and been like, what is it? Where was Sadiq? He was supposed to be there. He didn't go there. What do you want me to tell you? And just we would have run over Sadiq with the bus 8 million different ways. Red doesn't do that, and because of that, it lands on him, and it all lands on him, and that's just the way it is right now.
So there's that. I mean, what I saw last night, I hope Donnie's ready to lock in defensively. I think we saw him a little better than last season, which if his feet work, that's a given. But from what I saw last night, like, William Kyle needs some help, because once you draw William Kyle in, it's just free reign behind him. Like, I think Nate King's had a block early, but he's not going to do that all game, and especially against bigger teams. I think Donnie's biggest thing is going to be William Kyle's wonderful, but if Mercyhurst is out there, driving and then dumping it down low once William Kyle's not a shot blocking threat, then they desperately need somebody to get in there and do it. So I didn't expect it, Brian, but I think Donnie's defense is going to be the thing that they're going to need, because I understand the offense is a problem and he's going to help, but I was really not impressed by the defense either against a team that shouldn't have been able to do anything.
And I think, again, it's, the opponents, obviously the first three games, their defensive numbers as a team were just asinine in a good way, and Donnie was there for those games. And I think part of that, it's not that Donnie was blocking shots or all this, but it's just that extra big body down there that allowed Kyle to be a weak side guy when need be. And I think Sadiq can play into that as well, but he's also a freshman and he's not ready to do it all the time. So I think Donnie, even if he's not a great defender, just that he's there, running bodyguard in some ways for Kyle helps out. And then the point on the offense, if Donnie was playing on Saturday against Hofstra and Hofstra put on that zone as they did, they would have flashed Donnie to the high post. Let's rephrase. They should have flashed Donnie to the high post every possession, as long as the zone was on, passed him the ball, and then played off that. Because we saw early in the season where Donnie, one of the things he'd really improved his offensive game, he was distributing a little bit. He was also being able to put it on the deck a couple times and pull up, or bully ball his way in. Like, he has options from there on the court that Syracuse has been significantly lacking. Like, part of why the offense has looked so stagnant recently, it's either, a bull rush from the outside with JJ or Cayenne or Kings or whatever, or maybe somebody hits a three, or it's Kyle doing work on the offensive glass. There's no connectivity between the middle of it, and that is what Donnie provides. Now, Is he healthy? Will he be healthy? I don't know. Is this one of those things where they get it, you get him back, and he aggravates it, then he's gone again? Like that could be in many ways worse to be worrying about that the rest of the year. If you're telling me that this is healing, whatever it is, and he'll be back in the lineup for Clemson, and unless something new happens, he's there for the rest of the year, all right, you take your chances with it. But it's tough because, I mean, as much as we're all big William Kyle fans now, it wasn't a debate through the first 3 games. Donnie was the best player on the team, and we weren't questioning that. Now everyone loves William Kyle, as they should, but Donnie was the best guy, and he hasn't been there.
I've got to think if he's healthy enough to be, shooting around and dunking, whether it's in practice or before the game and all of that. If he's healthy enough to go out there and dunk, then I would think that by the time ACC play starts, he's healthy enough to go out there and run. And if he's not, then I don't want to see him dunking. If he can't run, I don't want to hear about how he's dunking in practice. So
if you have a lower body injury, you will land on whatever is hurt when you come down from a dunk.
Yes. So I'm going to take a wild guess that he wants to be ready to go out and play. And maybe there was a little bit of, okay, we can win these games without him. We'll be fine. Slight miscalculation. I think they've got to be holding him out for ACC play. If he's not ready for Clemson, that's when I start to get very concerned. That's when this turns from I think I have an idea of what's going on to day-to-day is really day-to-day.
Yeah, like if he doesn't play the Clemson game, then you start getting into will we ever see him play for Syracuse again? Because now you start envisioning worst-case scenario of what, like the guy is just permanently injured. Q Sports Knower has a way to fix the team. So we look forward to that.
That piqued my interest too. I kind of want to hear this.
I want to. Oh, wait, okay. You just found the channel. Yes, you promise you'll be here no matter. We like that Q Sports. So you found it. Hit the subscribe button. We love people to hit the subscribe button. That makes us feel good on our insides when you hit the subscribe button. But welcome in. How I ask, are you going to? How are we going to fix the team? What's the game plan here?
We've got a good mix of comments, but I park on level 5 at the garage now. I enjoyed that from Tronic.
Yeah.
Govendo should have seen Devo's texts. Let me tell you.
Yeah, we remember you, Q Sports Knower. Yes, you have vast insider knowledge. Yes. But for now, we'll skip right to your overall basketball strategy. We need your strategic planning to solve this whole thing. Subscribe. There we go. That's more important than your basketball strategy.
What is with this cliffhanger, man? Tell me how to fix the team.
We're teetering on the edge of the Grand Canyon here. We just I want to fix the team, and Q Sports Knower has the answer. Again, if anybody would like to join the show with a live video call, link as always is pinned top of the chat. We've got that option available to you. You would ban any words of level 5. I will say this, Red. For as bizarre as that press conference was last night, Jordan, Red didn't say level 5.
I know he didn't because I asked Mario before, a guy Mario Sacco. I asked him, "Are we going over under 2.5?" And I cannot believe the line should have been a half.
Yeah.
So
he went over. He went over on dip. He replaced all of the level 5 mentions with dip. So which also tells me that, heck, we also know Jim Boeheim did this. Like any coach that says they don't see or hear what people are saying, what's going on. And heck, like half of my tweets and videos the last week have been just me like losing my mind about or laughing or slapping my head into the microphone about level 5 stuff. So, to blame or whatever, I'm sure I'm not the only one. Like Red clearly actively did not say the words level 5 last game.
If we're talking level 5 and dips, I want to get your thoughts on it because every time they don't do well, it's that they're not consistent with their energy.
Right.
And I think energy sometimes can be substituted for focus, whether he says it or not. I just think it sounds worse to say they're not focused.
Well, it's just, like, can you have energy? Like, I'm still not aware. Like, can you have good energy and play bad basketball? That it doesn't seem to compute in the way Red tells us things work.
Do you think at this point they're capable of playing 40 minutes to the level of energy that Red wants? And here's the context, right?
No dips?
like I said, I love talking to Kyan, right? Because he says things. So I was trying to get an answer out of him, and it was kind of a tongue-in-cheek question, but I asked him, Matt NY, you tuned in at the wrong time,
it's
buddy.
just poor timing, Matt NY. That's the first mention of level 5 in the whole show.
I asked Kyan, what level are you guys playing on? I tried to get an answer out of him. Like, what percent?
You're trying to learn the scale.
Yeah, and he basically said, even in practice, we struggle, as I mentioned already, level 5 for a whole game. Do you think that they can do that? I mean, they're playing. Bryce Zephyr's getting out there. Luke Fennell's getting out there. Once Donnie's back, they'll have another body. Soiree is still getting minutes. No matter how good William Kyle is playing, they're still going to give Soiree, 10, 12 minutes or so. Scored his first basket, by the way.
Took his first shot.
For Ski, they're calling him.
Yeah.
Do you think they can play at a level to Autry's satisfaction for 40 minutes? Because it's just seeming like, they're chasing the dragon.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's impossible to literally do it for an entire basketball game to not have.
But that's what he wants.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
what he wants.
He is trying to tell us that if they can play at 100% effort for the full game, they will win. And I don't think that's necessarily possible.
Yeah. Now, I like the idea. Like, let's play with as much effort as we can for as long as we can. But then there's also got to be the basketball that goes along with it. Like, there needs to be some strategery that's going along with it, because effort is great. Effort is fantastic. Like, when your team is a team that's dogging it, that is not a fun team to watch. I don't want to say that Syracuse is dogging it. I'd say that's not accurate. But there also needs to be some, like, execution that goes along with it. I also find this strange, Jordan. The amount of people that have told me on social media, oh, they're running the same crap offense that they've run for years. Like, this is not the same offense that Jim Boeheim ran. It is not the same offense. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, if you've watched Syracuse basketball games and you think this is the same offense, think what you want of the end of Jim's Boeheim days. It maybe didn't work great, but people keep telling me it's the same offense. I'm like, this is not the same offense. When's the last time you've watched a shooter run off a series of screens? Nate Kings has not run off a screen once all season. Now, I have no idea if he's a good shooter off a screen or not, but that is something I would like Red to tell me. Okay, are we not running Nate Kings off screens because he's just not good at that? That would be a reasonable answer. Like, I don't know. But we watched.
That was apparently Chris Bell's problem, right? He couldn't shoot off screens. Yeah, that's what we were told, right?
I believed it, because, look, whenever he went off a screen, like, it was a calamity. Like, all right, I understand that. Maybe that's the same with Kings, but he's also, they keep saying he's a motion shooter, like he's leaning a lot when he shoots, and that's just kind of the way he does it, which you'd think would go into shooting off screens and make him good at that. And they don't run the 2-play. They don't run the 3-play. And I'm not saying you need to stick with the same offense Jim Boeheim was running 25 years ago, but give me something. Like, if this guy's that good at shooting, run him off a screen. Get JJ off a screen going downhill that's not just a dribble handoff at the top. I mean, I'm not saying you got to be running a Princeton motion offense, but it's just, we need a little. We need more stuff.
There is other stuff. For example, I feel like they're running the baseline a lot more, which you do with these athletes.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just like, I wasn't seeing it because they didn't have the athletes, but that's one thing I feel like I'm seeing a lot more. Like, there are things being run, and I will say,
yeah, some people think he runs nothing. That's also not true. Like, there's a.
Well, I think you're even seeing more than in his first season. Like, I think, look, it's not a huge bag. It's not Santa's bag of gifts, but I think Red's bag is increasing a little bit, but it's just too many possessions. Or I saw somebody on Twitter, like, George brings it up, and then you have somebody come out and run around a screen from Kyle. They get the ball. Then they either dump it down to Kyle, who's not a threat to shoot, or they have to create. And it's very rinse and repeat. I see answers to the level 5, by the way. I would agree with Houston. I think Tennessee was close, Govendo, but one thing I'll say about Tennessee, and it was a good win, Tennessee shot horribly, and I think they missed a lot of shots that they would say they should make. That was not the same team that stomped on Louisville. Like, it just wasn't. Credit to the Dome crowd for that, I'll say too, because they were rocking that night, but I think those were pretty close. I still think Tennessee, even a lot of that was Tennessee wasn't hitting shots they should have when they were getting inside. But yeah, they need to do it against everybody, because in the ACC, right, we can't expect them to have that intensity every single game, can we? But you also can't sleep on Boston College, no matter how bad they are, because they have Power 5 athletes.
That's what they tell us about BC anyway.
Power
But
4 or 5, I get my numbers confused.
They got an amount of power with the athletes. But yeah, you're about to play 18 ACC games. You got 20 games left in the season, 18 ACC games. Realistically, if we're still thinking tournament, you're probably going to have to win, right, at minimum 11 of the ACC games. Obviously depending on which ones you win, and if do you pick off a Duke or a Louisville or something along the way. But you can't afford, and I don't mean a dip of 2 minutes. You can't afford a dip of a game like BC. Like, there's no more room for error with stuff like that, which is where the energy comes in. But it can't be the only answer. It can't. Some nights you might not have the energy. You have to have another way to play. It can't be just like, well, we didn't run hard enough after that one. Anything? No, we didn't run hard enough after that one. Nothing we can do. We had to run harder. Anything else?
I still see people saying that, and I know he hasn't shot well, but I'm still seeing people saying they don't think Nate Kings has been good this season.
I think
Am I missing something, or do you
agree?
Good. I would agree, and I'm still seeing a lot of people.
I wish he was shooting better, but I think he's been good.
It's a lot. Okay, I just want to make sure, because I'm trying to figure out where they can get better, and I think it's Donnie needs to come back, and I think Kyan and Nate George need to take care of the ball, and they need to be more consistent shooting. Yeah. And other than that, it's just, energy. Because, look, they're not just going to install a whole new offense. So no. I think the thing they can change is taking care of the ball, right? I don't think it's Kings.
Like Kings, I'm looking at shooting here. Obviously, I think part of it is Nate, both good and bad. Nate is not the player I thought he was, having never watched him. Right? Like, when he landed here, the story we heard tell, and the stats for Oregon State that showed he was a 45% three-point shooter, was like, oh, they went out and got a shooter. Again, I'd watched 0 seconds of him play basketball, so I just, you accepted his fact and moved on. Well, I think Nate has been a way better basketball player than I gave him. I thought he was just a shooter, but I think he's a very good basketball player, but he's only shooting 29% from three. He's made 17 of 57, so he's averaging about 1.5 made threes a game. This is a guy you'd hoped would be 2.5, 3 made threes a game. And why are the numbers lower? There's 8 million reasons why the numbers could be lower. But if that 29% can turn into 37%, that's a significant change. Can it? I don't know. But that's also why I'd like to run some plays for him to try to get him some shots just to see if it would work. I just want to see if it would work.
I agree. I froze, so I was scared. Yeah, I feel like we're seeing JJ get a lot of the looks we expected Nate Kings to have. Like, Red came out and he said, we don't need Nate George to score 18 or 20, which is fine. So talk to JJ.
He scored 12 last night. He'd been scoring 8. They need their starting point guard to be in double figures. Like, they need that. This is basketball in 2025. Your point guard has to score. He doesn't have to be your leading scorer, but he's got to put the ball in the back. He's got to be a threat. And Nate George too often has not been a threat with the ball in his hands, and he's had the ball in his hands for 30 minutes a game every game all season.
I think he played better. I think it was a bit of a fluky 12. I'm not going to lie. Like, he had that one step back three that's a shot I don't want to see him take, really. Not at this point. He got fouled on a 3, which that's not going to happen unless you're playing against a 5'11" and a 6-foot guard who are just desperate to come up and try to do anything they can, biting your ankles. I know about that strategy. So I didn't think he was great, but like, one thing he does set up JJ, for example, on those, flare screens into the corner. I'd like to see, as you said, more of that with Kings or even Betsy. Like, all of Betsy's threes really seem to come at the top of the key, or you get the rare drive and then like wrap around pass to the corner. But yeah, like, why is JJ the only one who can catch a pass, in the corner off a screen and shoot? I don't really get that at all. JJ, it could be maybe none of the other guys are really running plays right, and JJ's experience is helping him. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd love to know, and that's I think, to come back to Red in these press conferences or the interviews, like, we get no clarity on that stuff. So unless you really know what the play was supposed to be, or you could hear. And Red is just, and once again, not fair to Red, but Red coaches so differently from Boeheim. And I'm not talking strategy. I'm talking there was not 1 second in the history of Earth that you did not know when somebody screwed up on a Jim Boeheim team and who it was and what the deal was. So if you thought it was one thing and then Boeheim is mad at somebody else, you were able to really quickly recalibrate your thoughts on what went wrong, at least according to him. That's not how Red reacts to a game. So it's there's no external clues to what might else be going wrong, and he doesn't tell us. So, and because of that, it all gets lumped on him. I would just like to know some of the basketball. Like, all right, why aren't these guys getting put in those situations? Because, yeah, they're all taking threes, but it's what you're saying. It's, all right, I got the ball outside the arc, I'm going to shoot it. It's not something that's set up an action that leads to a shot in rhythm. It's just happenstance that people are shooting threes, except what you're saying. JJ seems to run himself, at least into spots that make sense.
Yeah, and look, Kings is getting good looks too. I mean, he's airballed a corner 3 2 games in a row. So, I mean, part of it is, look, he just needs to figure it out and make his shot.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to blame that all on him. But, yeah, most of the threes they take, if we're being real, are Betsy, deciding whether or not he wants to shoot a 3 and then eventually shooting it.
Yeah, and it goes in
it's
or
a
it
lot
doesn't.
of just which I know the plan was getting side last night. There were 2 threes early I wish he had taken, and I wonder if he had just taken those because he is the guy to shoot right now. If that would have changed the offensive momentum, like could they have gotten a big enough lead to get the kill shot? But a lot of the threes are just the guards dribbling and realizing I'm not going to get to the rim on this possession, or I'm only at a level 2 right now. I can't get to the rim on this possession. And they're just chucking up a 3 off the dribble.
Well, if you're at a level 2, you're supposed to put your hand up and come out of the game. You got to know what level you're at and sub yourself out so somebody at level 5 can come in and play some freaking basketball.
So, I don't know. I just hope – I liked a lot of what we saw with Donnie where he was getting it at the high post and getting a chance to distribute. And I think that will solve a lot of the issues because – he'll draw help defenders, and then guys will be open in the corner. And as long as Nate Kings can find the rim from the corner, I think there's a chance it looks better. But, again, it would have been nice to not lose to Hofstra in the process, or even the Mercyhurst game. Some people get it, some people don't. A win's not a win anymore. A 12-point win against Mercyhurst, I'm not going to say it might as well be a loss, but – or 14, whatever.
Yeah,
they added a point and took away a point at the end. So
I think it ended up being 14. I think that last shot
13
Mercyhurst
in the dome.
Yeah, I think that last shot Mercyhurst made, they called a 3 and changed it to a 2 or something.
Yeah,
I think.
Absolute killer for those with alt spread minus 13.5. By the way, I'm sure that was a thing. But yeah,
was that you,
I just
Jordan?
No.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess that's what frustrates me the most is if things look different with Donnie and they look way better, and he's been dunking and all this and that.
Yeah.
He couldn't have played
5 minutes.
Yeah, right. I was going to say 8 to 10.
Whatever. And him out.
But so that's going to be a big what if it comes down to the end of the season. And I think it's, right now we're not thinking, what if it comes down to that game at the end of the season? We're thinking, oh gosh, level 5 panic meter. But I'm just really, if it doesn't look a whole heck of a lot different when Donnie comes back, then I think we go back to your earlier conversation, which is it's not going to be a tie goes to the runner. It's going to be, out by a mile. The shortstop doesn't really have to put any mustard on the throw to first and Red's out.
And there, the big picture stuff, unfortunately, again, is the most fascinating thing right now because of how much this matters to where we are. This matters to the town, and Kent Syverud's out, he's retiring, he's leaving. There's wild hacks there, but you don't. That's not an AD unanimous decision type thing when it comes to making moves like this. So I think it's going to be with a somewhat of a leadership void when you don't really have a chancellor that's in it for the long haul when this would be going down. I think there could be just a fascinating case of bumper cars going on then. I'm just wondering what's going on. And, like, do you look at, like, Jerry lost to Vermont last night, but Jerry's off to a really good start. They look like they're going to be a factor in the MAC. I know people still love Mike Hopkins. I don't think that's really viable at this point anymore, though, rewind 10 years and, we can all play out how that could have gone differently in our heads, or, go out and get somebody that's actually killing it. And do you have the money to do it? And there's 8 million questions to ask on that. And, will we ever get answers? I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever get answers. Then one day something is either going to happen or it's not. And we'll just be like, oh, okay.
Those are outdoor patio chair pillows, Ryan, not inchworms. My backdrop is all, like, Brian has a lovely backdrop. A lot of people, they just put up a shelf that only serves to be their backdrop.
Yeah.
Look, I don't have a backdrop. I have a cat and I have eggnog, and that's my thing.
Yeah, Jordan has a front drop. He has eggnog.
Yes, I have. And stay tuned, because this is not just like a show historic eggnog review.
Wow.
This is a 29. We're a couple weeks away from 29 years of life historic eggnog review coming from me.
Wow. That's
This is never before experienced.
Wow. I assume that's good, but who knows?
It could be. I guess last thing on basketball, if you have thoughts on the portal, nobody's leaving who scares me. Maybe Luke Carney a little bit, just because it's interesting. We can talk about it, but what do you actually expect for Northeastern, and is it Stonehill? Is that it?
Yes.
I don't even know what they're playing, dude. They're all the same. We shouldn't be, talking about close games against teams that are just pick a random name, but we are. Do you actually think that they go out there and get a win similar to what we saw in the first few games of the season, where it was like, oh, they're back? Or do you expect more of the same, and then we go into ACC play terrified for what we may experience, or combination?
I think we're going to it's Syracuse fans. Everyone's going to arrive terrified. Like, there's no way to avoid that at this point. I don't think
once they get there, is playing better teams going to make them play how they're supposed to, which is not how it's supposed to work. But let's be real, you got to have something to get up for.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, they have played up and down to the level of their competition, so it wouldn't be shocking to me. It wouldn't be shocking to me if, Clemson comes in, win or lose, if they play significantly better than they have since the Tennessee game. Like, that wouldn't surprise me at all, and potentially if you had Donnie Bag in the mix. Yeah, I don't know. The whole thing is, it's just weird. It's weird. And it's one of these things where if you hadn't lost to Hofstra, like, yesterday could have happened and we wouldn't have thought anything of it. You're like, all right, they sleptwalked. That happens this time of year. No students, nobody's in the building. Wednesday night, it's Mercyhurst. Like, there was a game or two like that every year for decades. And it's like, all right, well, that was boring. And then you all just move on with life. This is as long as I feel like our post-game show last night, and here we are talking about it, and all of the social media interactions I've had in the last 24 hours and really since Saturday. Like, people are stuck on yesterday. This was a win, and people are stuck on it, and that kind of tells you.
Well, he lost all the good faith from the Tennessee win, I think. And I know it's an overreaction, but I think it's not just the Hofstra game. It's how they bounced back in the sense that they didn't. Like, I think those two games.
I think it's all three. Like, you came out against St. Joe's, you didn't play well, but you happened to win. Yep. The Hofstra game, you're about, like, it felt like you were possession away from running them off the court in the second half, and then the Sadiq Tech, then all of a sudden you're down 10, and then you still should have, could have won the game. And then you just snooze fest, you sleepwalk through last night. So that's 3 games in a row. Like, are we awake or not? One time it was 9 o'clock. Oh, it's late. Well, that wasn't last night. Like, let's play some basketball.
Mercyhurst was so bad that I forgot that I saw, like, maybe the 3, I'm not going to say worst calls, but at the end of that game, like, I don't know if I've seen 3 just, like, not worst calls in themselves, but just back to back to back.
It just
like,
kept
now we got to talk about it because I forgot it happened because of Mercyhurst. But first of all, grow a sack, baseline ref.
Call
Make a call. How is the guy by the scorer's table who's probably like eyeing Mello trying to get an autograph after the game? How's that dude making the call, right? How do you default to it got touched when it didn't look like it did? How Kyan said he was told it was a 50-50 call. I mean, that was clear as day. And then the one nobody's talking about, and it wouldn't have mattered. Sadiq wrapped a guy up with 4.1 seconds left, and they didn't call the foul until like 1.9.
Didn't call
What in the world was happening? I think SU legitimately, I have a theory. Like Sadiq got the tech, Kyan, you know how he is. I think they talk so much crap that officials get sick of them and they're not giving them the benefit. That's all I can think of.
And that might be true. And and this is the
sorry.
The problem.
Like I forgot about that, and I just had to let it all out.
Let it fly. But this is the problem with following because you know this would have. And again, Boeheim. If Boeheim were the coach and Sadiq had gotten that technical, here's what would have happened. Jim would have lost his mind, which wouldn't have changed anything, but one of the officials would have come down and explained to Jim what the call was. And either Jim would have kept losing his mind because he would have thought it ridiculous, or he would have said, okay, and then he would have turned around and lost his mind on Sadiq because the ref would have told him that, yeah, like he said this, whatever, like you can't say that. And like when Boeheim gets the accurate explanation like that, he would accept it, and then, but right after the game was asked what he got the tech for and didn't have an answer. Like, how do we not have a, like, what did he get the tech for? Did he go to the list of magic words? Was it because he was jawing it too long? Like, I'd love to know the answer to it, to know, like, all right, what do we need to correct here? Like, because I don't know what he did wrong. Like, yeah, he was jawing too much, but it didn't feel like it was that extreme. It was getting there, but unless he was really, like, MFing the guy, I mean, I'd love to know. I'd love to know.
Also, like, stop talking when you get to half court. Also, if Boeheim had done that, you know what it does? It fires up the whole crowd, not just for, like, boo, the refs suck, but for, like, a, yeah, let's go. Like, we're into this. And then maybe it doesn't completely turn the tide of the game. Like, come on, Red, get in the fight, man. Like, I need level 5 whining, griping, and arguing right there.
We need level 5 bitching at the refs. We need level 5 ref bitchery. That's what we need. All right, George.
Rip off the quarter zip and
throwing the quarter zip probably has less effect than getting stuck getting out of your jacket as the Heimer did down at Duke. All right, let's get a video call in before we get Jordan's unprecedented eggnog review. What's up, Nick? Welcome in.
Hey, Brian. How are you, buddy?
Doing well.
Jordan, what's going on, pal?
I was gonna say I'm here too. How are you?
I'm good. So let's talk Portal. I mean, this is the name of the show, right?
It is the name of the show.
The Portal, right? Are you guys shocked by any of the people that have entered so far?
Shocked is strong. Like, I go back to the, I did a little thing on it the other day. You go back, we go back to the first hibachi night at the Dome with all the cars and whatnot. Like, who was there that night? Both Emmanuel Ross and Jalen Hornsby were there, and they were two big flips from Stanford and Duke, and they're both gone. And it's just, I think Yasin Willis is the only player of any note that was there that night that's still on the roster. So I just find it amazing how important and big that night was at the time, and now it's just like, yeah, it's all gone. Do any of them individually shock me? No. Does the volume of it bother me? No, because I think this, what are they at? They're at 16 or 18, whatever right now.
16, yeah. 16.
That's the cost of doing business in college football these days. You lose Carney, which I don't think anyone's that surprised of. I wish that had played out differently. But big picture, no. I'm not. Nothing has happened yet that's like, oh, man, that is a massive blow.
Yeah. So I think we're still a good 8 to 10 more people that are going to enter before January 2nd.
I could see that.
And I got a DM from Malachi Davis. He's a defensive end from Toledo.
Yeah, who played with Karras there. Yep.
I would highly wager on the fact that I think he's coming to Syracuse.
Oh, get Takashi. Get Takashi now.
There's got to be odds.
And that kid from Penn State that entered today, Chaz Coleman, I believe his name is. He's a 4-star from Ohio. Vince Karras recruited him to Toledo.
Okay.
and he turned down an offer from Matt Campbell, and he entered today.
Okay.
So that's another name to look out for.
Can I say, Nick, to answer your question, I think the two things that have shocked me the most, and you're dropping dimes, we appreciate it, was one, not Malachi James entering, but his dad just going on Twitter crazy. I think he said something like, how do you expect the team to stay healthy if practice is like an Al-Qaeda?
All right, so do you know what happened there, Jordan? What happened there is his dad told him to sit out when he was cleared.
Okay.
And
I'm sure
his
Fran
dad,
loves that.
and that's why Fran told him to hit the portal. That was explicitly from Fran to him because he sat out, but then he dusted the first team defense in practice the next week.
Yeah, Fran don't play on stuff like that. I'd say honestly the biggest surprise that I have, Nick, right now in the portal is that Ricky Collins isn't in it yet.
I don't know that he's even going to make a big announcement, Brian, to be honest with you, because he obviously it's common knowledge he's not coming back, right? So the less attention he gets, the better. Another interesting fact that nobody talked about all season, and I tried to keep it under my hat, but I'm a big Luke Carney fan. Okay, I'm friends with his family. I know him well. He was the QB1 going into UNC, and on Thursday they flipped a script because Nunzio said he wanted to start Filardi. And Fran took his word for it because he's the quarterback coach. That's why Nunzio got moved away from being quarterback coach. Because he regretted doing that.
I'd say I hadn't heard that, but who knows? I'd say if you did that, it's kind of bizarre. Somebody like that would still be on the staff. I guess I like Nunzio. Like if things like that are happening, I just don't understand. But this is where it comes back to. I think Fran is starting to realize this more and more that he is the head coach. But
the weird thing about it is, and I guess it's not really weird, Brian, because we know the relationship with him and Angeli, but he's back to being quarterback coach again.
Oh, did they switch? Yeah.
It's not public. It hasn't been announced yet, but he's going to be coaching quarterbacks because of Angeli.
Yeah, well, they work well together, so that would make sense. But that also tells me I think Fran seems to be more stepping in on this big picture stuff. Big picture, like on-field stuff, like he should be. Like he's always been a big picture off-the-field guy and culture guy and recruiting guy and all of that. But I think, part of the learning he did this year is that like the dude's got to be the head coach all the time, and that means the football stuff too.
And so fast or rewind to after the Carolina game, that's when Luke he went and met with Fran and Nixon and said, I want to maintain my red shirt because I need to keep it for myself. Yeah. That's why he didn't play a full game going towards the end of the season.
Which is and that's where I come back to, like that's where once Angeli got hurt and once it was clear that Collins wasn't it, that needed to be managed differently just to get a real look at the future. Because
correct.
God, nobody loves lacrosse more than I, but I can't possibly believe that the lacrosse guy from Long Island is the future quarterback for Syracuse, and I don't know why they approached it as if that might be the case. It just never made sense.
So you have to understand, too, Nunzio Campanelli is from the same area as the Filardis, so they're friends.
Yeah, that can't influence that.
But it did. That's the problem.
Yeah, well, that's where the head coach has to say no. Like if you don't want the answer to be yes on that's on the head coach. That's why you're in charge. Like people can come to you with ideas, but you're the head coach. It all lands on you. That's when you get to. I don't want to say can say no. That's when you get to say no. Like you're the head coach. Nunzio can tell you whatever the hell he wants. Any of the assistants can. That's why I always find it strange. Like when Fran was complaining about the play calling to the sideline reporter at halftime, I'm like, you press the button on your headset and tell the dude calling the plays. Like, dude, what are we doing?
And I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but Luke had the fourth fastest 40 time on the team.
Yeah, he's a fast straight line athlete, and we never saw him.
It makes sense how they used him.
Yeah, never saw him play enough. Like I still don't.
He actually was contemplating moving to safety.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm him though, like I wouldn't. You'd have to love playing for Fran if you're a quarterback to not transfer out in this day and age.
Well,
At
he's
least give
happy.
yourself
He's
a
gonna go.
shot.
He's gonna go back closer to home, which is fine. There's a bunch of Texas schools out that way he can play for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, plenty.
But
Speaking of Texas, by the way, the second thing that caught me, and I didn't necessarily think they just let him go, but I think I saw like Cuse. I think they collabed on the post with Jonte. It seemed like close to an "I'm coming back" video, and that was surprisingly quick for me for Jonte, assuming that's what it was. Like I figured he'd at least like see if he could get more money or something. I mean, he clearly wasn't happy.
you gotta remember, Jordan. He already went to two places, right? And he's got a tarnished rep to an extent.
Yeah, but I feel like nowadays you'll get some school to give you a chance with just the raw talent.
Well, I think that's where Fran's relationship holds water because he's actually teaching him how to be a man, right? A lot of coaches don't do that.
Yeah, and that's important. It is important, but the on game day, the
only
on-field
two
stuff is
people
more
that
important.
kind of caught me off guard as far as entering the portal were Emmanuel Ross and Caleb Singleton.
Yeah, Singleton had been playing a little bit more as the year went along. He was the number 2 ranked recruit they had last year. But at the same time, like Fran recruits so many defensive backs, it's like, all right, whatever.
And originally I said, well, Tadarius Hughes coming in, I can see that kind of makes sense. But did you guys know Tadarius actually ended up hurting his knee in the state championship game? He posted a post on Instagram, his leg in a full brace with crutches.
I did not. I'm not up on my Tadarius Hughes day to day. I missed that.
I just saw it. I don't know what the extent of the injury is. I'm trying to find out myself, but that can't be good because he's supposed to be there in January.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. They got 8 million defensive backs, like, and you have your 2 starting corners coming back who are both really good. So I'm not really concerned about that. The wide receivers thing is like okay, but at the same time, like, all right, those were the 2 stud freshmen 2 years ago. Neither of them have really produced up to this point, and they're bringing in 2 more stud freshmen this year that are probably even studlier than those 2. So it's like, all right, I get it.
One last thing I have before I let you guys go. Have you guys heard anything else about E-Rob? Because after he turned down LSU, the whole Nebraska smoke started coming, and then that kind of died out. And then I heard that there might be a reunion at Texas A&M, but I haven't seen anything of it lately. And obviously, he's not coming back to Syracuse. But I'm just wondering if you guys heard anything.
I've heard
no.
the A&M thing a little bit. I haven't heard a ton, but I've heard people talking about, oh, hold on, like A&M could be a thing. So, I mean, I haven't been DMing people or anything, but I've seen the smoke. But yeah, it makes you wonder what's going on because Elijah was like really hot for a solid half a weekend and then just crickets from now on. Like,
Right. And then it just kind of just fizzled away to nothing.
Here, I have some reporting for you on Elijah Robinson. I have put his name into Twitter. And then the first search that came up, this is admittedly from 10 days ago, but it was the first thing that came up. Somebody
which just proves the point, by the way.
Yeah, somebody screenshotted Elijah Robinson's Wikipedia entry as of 10 days ago, and his title is co-defensive coordinator and defensive line at Wienerville. Now, that was 10 days ago. Things may have changed.
Sources.
So he's got that going for him, which is nice.
Well, that was a good way to end it, Brian. That
There we
made
go.
me laugh. So good one on that. And then I'm sure there's no show next week, right? Because of the holiday.
We might rock one Tuesday. Probably not. I don't know. We'll discuss.
If you want to do Tuesday, you didn't sound very.
Yeah.
You didn't sound like we were committing last week, but we'll rock Tuesday.
Yeah, we might. If there is to be a show next week, it will be on Tuesday. Let's put it that way, because there ain't a shot in hell we're doing one on Christmas Eve. But we will distribute the news. That could be also potentially depending how the next 2 basketball games go. If they're whole hummers with not much going on, we may just let it be. So we'll see how it's going. We'll see how it's going.
Well, if I don't talk to you guys, have a great Christmas and a happy holiday with your families.
You as well, Nick. Always good to see you, man. There's our guy Nick out in Vegas. Oh, I started the show again. That is the wrong button. Oh, just a terrible error. Thank you, Ryan, for the donations. As you can see in the chat, Ryan Mullen is E-Rob and Gio or their lady hunting at Texas A&M. I'm just gonna leave that one be, Ryan. But thank you. Did I answer your previous question, Ryan? You'd answered Oh, yes. Red has come out with level 5 T-shirts. That would be good to go along with the Winners Get Washed shirts. We can have the whole collection.
I did see Johnny asked earlier, folks at the game, butts in seats. I will definitely not 5K, less than 5.
I heard a number that started with 4.
Yeah, I saw an estimate that started with 3. But shockingly, there were more than I expected for the post Hofstra Mercyhurst Wednesday nighter. Believe it or not, I thought it would be worse.
Yeah, and I'd say that's the one thing with the new seats, right? It's at least you're a little more lumped in there, and it's not just the blank silver expanses that would have been in years gone by. But it was also just because of the game, the crowd was just dead. And I don't blame the crowd. There wasn't anything to get excited about. There wasn't anything to get excited about in the game,
except for the 3-point shot that I accompanied our guy.
Oh, was that yesterday?
Yes.
Did it go anywhere near the basket?
He hit the rim.
All right, that's respectable. It's a respectable effort.
Shout out. But the best part was he had a second chance diner hoodie on, and every chance he got, before the shot, turned into the crowd pointing at it. After, when the guy has the camera in his face, he's turning his logo to the camera. It company man. That
gotta
Q.
respect the hustle.
Shout out Drew and Q.
Gotta respect the hustle. All right, Jordan. Do you want to give us your eggnog review? What are we working with here?
Yeah. So I'm not doing eggnog reviews because I don't love eggnog. I think you can tell by the size of the glass that I drink each week. I like eggnog.
That's
now,
true.
if you were paying close attention, you could have also told something by this glass. It was not quite as full as it normally was.
Interesting.
And there's a reason for that. This is the Southern Comfort Original. We've already had the Southern Comfort Vanilla, which has the lowest rating of any of them.
Uh-oh. And that was even lower than the one that was almost expired.
Yes.
Yes.
Brian, this is the first eggnog in my life I've ever had that I don't
You're not gonna
have
finish?
the desire to drink.
Wow.
I am doing this for the show. It is taking everything that I have to not open the other eggnog I have in the fridge, which is Hood Vanilla,
Ooh.
which I got forgetting we didn't have 2 shows in a row. It's too thick, Brian. It's way too thick. This isn't a beverage. It is.
It's a solid?
It has the texture of cough syrup. It is. I mean, you can just look at this. Okay, you see, this is kind of relatively clear, right? I'm gonna do this.
Okay. Yeah,
And
it's
it's
not,
just,
it's not moving quickly.
But look, it's still on the side. So do not get the Southern Comfort brand eggnog. I don't care if you mix it with rum. I still don't think it's going to work, Brian.
You have
I'm
to
going to
mix
give
the
one more
whole
taste.
bottle of SoCo in with it? Is that how it works?
Yeah. So this rating might be offensive to Nog. So I'm going to take one more sip. Meanwhile, shout out Caitlin, one of my coworkers at National Grid. We did Secret Santa. Got me this sweet hat. Thanks, Caitlin. I mean, yeah, 5.6.
Oh, man.
5, and on an eggnog scale, that might as well be a 2.
I am beyond excited of what player you're about to compare the worst nog you've ever had to.
Well, I don't want to be too mean. And remember, the rating does not relate to the player's performance. It's a player comp. This is Bryce Zephyr, and here's why.
Okay.
First of all, for today's style of basketball, I would say he's a little thick for a guard. I wouldn't call him lanky. I wouldn't say he's necessarily long. I think he's a little bit thicker of a guard. He's got a sturdy body to play defense. Look, man, I'm sure this eggnog serves a purpose. I'm sure someone is giving it minutes somewhere. And I'm sure at a lesser eggnog program, Brian, this could even be a starter. But at a top program like Syracuse, at the equivalent eggnog program, Southern Comfort Original is not starting. And he might not even play in every game.
Not in the rotation.
I'm sure but he has a role somewhere, Brian. Just like Southern Comfort Original, I'm sure it has a role. It's a 5.6. It's Bryce Zephyr. I liked Bryce. I don't like this eggnog. Don't buy it. Cheers.
No offense, Bryce Zephyr. Cheers to everybody with the knock. A 5-6. It could have been a 6-7. Ryan. Oh man. Last basketball practice of the year with the first graders was on a Monday, and we were doing like a little scrimmage against one of the other teams.
It's not.
Jordan's dying. He is dying.
I don't like it. Like it's. I tricked myself into it tasting like cough syrup. And no, it's not Noah. You want to know why?
No, Noah's very important to the operation.
Everybody loves Noah. Everybody wants Noah.
Yeah.
Nobody wants this nog.
Yeah, and Noah's dad, who's sitting down there next to Mello, also very important to the general operation. Also very important. No, I walked right into a 6-7 thing on Monday, Ryan, because the other team only like I was looking down trying to figure out how many people they had. And I'm like, yeah, it looks like they got 6 or 7, and then all 13 of our people gave me 6-7. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, all right. Then I count again. I'm like, they have 8. It looks like they have 8 players. Can't do anything with 8. You smart ass 6-year-olds. You get out of here with your 6-7s.
Okay. How good are they at addition yet?
Are you?
You said there were 13 of them, right?
Oh, yeah. They did not figure out that 6 + 7 equal that they could have divided themselves up in half and have been the 6-7 squad.
Just wait until the first of them gets real good at the addition tables, and it's over for you.
No, well, I say that was the last practice. Like the season's over, so we can say it's a.
They'll
quick
find
season.
you.
They'll find you. It's well, one of them lives upstairs, so they can find me very, very easily. I'd say we did break down one practice with a 6-7, and then most of the other practices were broken down with various quotes from the Minecraft movie. So
7 on 3.
Yeah, we did 6-7. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. Yeah, that happened. Then
4 and 5 were just like
4 and 5 are out.
What the hell?
Yeah, 4 and 5 are just on the outs.
It's like the Monty Python in 2025.
Yeah. 1,
2, 3, 6, 7.
The whole thing is the Ministry of Silly Walks. I don't even know. It's just it's something. It's something. We ended every other practice with like Minecraft, the movie quotes. So like Steve's lava chicken. I'm like, all right, he's got lava chicken.
I know that one.
Yeah,
because it's a Jack Black song.
It is a Jack Black song. It is a Jack Black song that is also sung often around these parts. All right, well, we'll either do a show next week or we won't. So everybody prepare for that. It's one of those things. There'll either be a show or not. I don't know. Do you feel like doing a show, Jordan? Where are we at? I think we might need something compelling to happen between now and then.
I'm down either way, so here's the deal. I'm going to mute myself. Like this eggnog.
It's killing you. Jordan had to go silent because his cough syrup eggnog is brutalizing him.
Yeah, like I'm out of water. I'm dying here. I'm off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week.
Okay.
I took the day after. Do yourself a favor, everybody. If you have time off, use it for the Friday between a Thursday holiday and the weekend. Give yourself a 4-day. I have 2 of those in a row, and I'm excited. So I'm free as a bird, man. If something happens, if you feel compelled to do a show, I'm down.
Matt NY says there is a show on Tuesday. Okay,
we're 10 in, so I mean,
yeah, we've done 10. We've passed 500 followers and subscribers on the whole thing. So yeah, we'll figure it out. I'd say if both basketball games are just nothing to talk about, but even the nothing to talk about games have been a font for conversation of late. So we'll see how. Yeah, 5 is right out. Yes, the holy hand grenade.
I like Mad and Why, by the way. I like there is a show Tuesday. It's like, oh, hold on.
It's like, okay, that was very declarative. I like the declarative nature of your statement.
I respect it.
You and Ryan will sponsor. Well, now that sounds like there's a show on Tuesday, Mad NY. Now, I mean, you were very generous yesterday, so I suddenly feel the need to lean into it. Like speak up, crowd. If you want a show next Tuesday, we can do a show.
By the way, Brian, I haven't heard a lot about birds today.
Oh yeah, should we look at the with the temperature rising today? I had an ocean of birds come to the bird feed. I had a blue jay, I had a cardinal, I had the woodpecker, I had something I'd never heard of before that I've forgotten about already. Yesterday though, should I put up the camera real quick before we go and just look into the darkness of night in the backyard?
Heck yeah. I saw a video earlier, Brian. Sam Darnold has an app on his phone where you can record the bird and it tells you what bird is chirping. So
Yeah,
maybe
no,
that's
what this app does. That's what I got. Yeah, that's what I'm rocking. It tells me. And it gives
Sam
me,
Darnold, Wildbird.
yeah. Is Sam Darnold's playing right now. How are they doing? I don't even know. I've totally forgotten about that game.
I hate Brian. You don't want to know the score.
Have is it 7-6? I need
The home team has 7. Actually, it's perfect.
I need the Rams. I need the Rams tight end to score a touchdown. That's where we're at.
Parkinson.
Yeah, Parkinson. That's where we went tonight.
Yeah, let's get degenerate. So the daily free pick. I do all the daily ones. Not while driving to work, by the way. That's not when I do all the daily free games.
That would be a terrible time to do it.
Yeah. So quit saying that. I can hear you all thinking that.
Mm-hmm.
And I won the 15 points. If you get your random generated player every day scores 15, you get a share of a bonus bet.
Nice.
It's out of a 25K pot. So I was like, all right, I'm probably going to get like $20. I got a $106 free bet, but with DraftKings, you have to use it all at once. So like if Kyron Williams doesn't score a touchdown, I'm going to get pretty upset.
Okay. He needs Kyron to score a touchdown. Yeah, I have significantly less riding on it than you. So
no, you don't. I have nothing riding on it.
Well, that's true. I guess I have significantly more riding on it than you then. So
infinitely more. Some would say.
But there's the Wildbirds Unlimited Backyard Bird Camp. Still shopping time before Christmas to head on out to the joints in Fayetteville and Camillus, or the one in Saratoga Springs if you happen to be in the capital region, and get your BirdFi metal bird feeder. But we had what do we have here today? We had a cardinal, we had a blue jay, we had a where's the app? We had the red-bellied woodpecker that's been hanging out a lot recently, and we had something called a black-capped chickadee, which was a small little guy, but he seemed to enjoy it. Yesterday, and this tells you that the spicy bird seed's doing its thing, a squirrel was all up on it, and was given like a sniff to the seeds, and just pieced out. Like the squirrel wanted none of that spicy bird seed. So very effective, the spicy bird seed. The squirrel was just, and he was like the squirrel was like, what the hell? What's this? I thought there was a meal, and he did knock like the top of the feeder open. I had to go close it back up. That was kind of annoying because I only noticed it was open at halftime when I was firing up the bird feeder cam last night. I had to tromp out in the snow. But yeah, there we are. All right, it seems everybody
give them a little normal bird seed for the holidays, Brian.
The squirrels, my trees are rife with berries and whatnot. Those squirrels are fat. Those squirrels are well fed in my backyard. They're doing good. They need to leave the birds be. That's
it's
it.
The holiday season.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, then they need to expand their horizons and eat the spicy bird seed if they want in on that. It's not my fault they're not expanding their culinary horizons. Like that's not on me. All right, the people are speaking, Jordan. They want us to do a show on Tuesday. So all right, we'll do a show. We're doing a show on Tuesday. We'll do it live at 8:00 on Tuesday. We'll also be live on Saturday after Northeastern, so post-game Saturday around about 6, and then post-game Monday after the vaunted matchup with Stonehill, which is absolutely a college that exists. It must be somewhere. It's got to be somewhere, wherever Stonehill is. Connecticut? I don't know. It's somewhere. So we'll do that. We'll do it on Tuesday. Matt, NY, and Ryan have an idea for Tuesday. They could be pregnant squirrels.
I have an idea.
Jordan has an idea. There's lots of ideas. All right.
Stonehill and Stony Brook should have a rivalry.
Ooh. And just the winner gets a big rock.
There's a sword and a stone, and the winner gets to pull it out, and that's the trophy.
Yes, I'm in. All right. Now we've got. I'm for it. Now we've gone on far too long. So everybody have a good rest of the night. And Jordan and I will talk to you on Tuesday. I'll talk to you live again here on this spot. Coming up after Cuse and Northeastern on Saturday. Good night, everybody. Good night, Grover. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for watching the 315 with Brian Higgins. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn your notifications on. We'll see you next time.